Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. In this video, I'm going to be talking about Pirate Jam, how I failed, and what I learned at the same time. This video is months after it's been over because I debated if I wanted to make any video at all. But I have made videos of my successes, and I thought at least showing one of my failures was only fair. I don't want to just be a highlight reel. Before I get into that, let me just explain what Pirate Jam is. Pirate Jam is run by Jason Thor Hall. We call him Thor, and his name he uses online is Pirate Software. It's also the name of his game company. He is the creator of Heartbound and a few other smaller games. And since he's called Pirate Software, so it's called Pirate Jam. It's a really huge game jam. I don't think it's as big as Game Maker Toolkit or Brackeys, but it's in that realm at the very least. So to start, there was the theme, which was an experience all its own, as he gives people things to vote on and whittles it down to what your theme is. And the theme was You Are the Weapon. And I immediately came up with an idea. You are a character that with magic transforms into weapons and tools to solve puzzles. Which is cool in theory, but when I say this was too ambitious for a game jam all alone, yeah, I made an oopsie. So I will start with what went wrong, and then I will get into what I learned, and then final thoughts. This is not meant to be a negative video. It's meant more to be a reflective video, I suppose. I'm reflecting back and also explaining how I felt and things like that. At the very least, I hope it makes someone feel not alone if they tried to join the same jam or a different jam or just their own little project, even if it's not a game and they feel bad. Just know you're not alone. So here's the first problem for me with Pirate Jam. This isn't a them problem per se, it's more of a me problem. They require a game design document. I get it. Thor used to work for Blizzard. He has his own game studio. This is how he works. And it is industry standard. However, it doesn't work for me. Not in the traditional sense. I do make what you could call game design documents, but I do them on paper. And not only that, I do them as I go. I don't make one and then make the game the way the one he showed is structured. That process makes making games very unpleasant for me. This was not fun, these 2 weeks. It was awful. I was so incredibly stressed during the jam. This is one of the main reasons why. I don't have a team, it's just me. I do write my ideas out and organize them how I think, but that wouldn't work comparing to the template he gives people to work off of. I can't know all the information before I start, because as you do a game jam, you start to cut and move things because of time. I'm also extremely neurodivergent, so this structure actually is counterproductive for me. It actually makes me feel less able to work instead of giving me a structure. Like I said, I do have a document in a sense, but it wouldn't pass inspection if I used those pages in my notebook and sketchbook and made a PDF. It's kind of like code in and of itself, only I would understand what I'm looking at. If I had another person, I can see a huge benefit in a game design document because it helps communication. But I was alone, trying to make a document I don't need or like because I literally forgot about actually using it, and it was just an obstacle that I had to work on. And I did it because I had to. Not because I wanted to, not because it was useful, but because it's a requirement. The second problem is the type of game I tried to make. In theory, a little puzzle game shouldn't be too hard, but it had combat. And when I made games in the early to mid 2010s, and making games in GDevelop for almost 2 years now, I've never made a game of combat. And it was way harder than I anticipated. I followed tutorials, I had some help. It still felt very clunky and hard for me to play, as the person who should be the best at the game. It was just not good. And I had to accept it wasn't good. And I spent almost the entire jam trying to get it to work, and every time I thought I got it better, a new problem turned up. And mind you, combat wasn't even the central mechanic. Combat was how you made the central mechanic make sense, along with other ways to solve puzzles. And I couldn't get this one mechanic to work. The third problem is I wrote myself into a corner. The game was supposed to be like a game I was working on in the 2010s called Tilly's Rose Garden, only I added combat. And it also has story. But the problem was, because I picked mechanics that were hard even if I cut out the story element and simplified the puzzles, the game was still bad. I didn't give myself enough outs to make something. Maybe not what I wanted, but I was at least proud of. In case you were wondering, the story was going to be an elf boy named Azul. He had to save his sister, Sapphire, from the Naranja tribe. Orange cats. Literally, they're just orange cats. I thought it was funny. And they had kidnapped her. There was supposed to be a bare-bones story about Azul slowly learning how to become a tungsten magic user to help save his sister. I wanted you to unlock each tool for the puzzle every few short levels. I was going to keep the story as short and simple as possible, but because of not knowing how to make almost any part of the game, I didn't even get to write anything. I only got the sprite for Azul and concept sketches for Sapphire and a mentor wizard, which I didn't even like that sketch, and I think I covered up my sketchbook by now. I do still like the idea, but I don't know if I'll do anything with it or not. There were things, however, I did learn how to do, or at least have something to reference. First, there were things about the engine I didn't know that I had learned, like how you can change which sprite animation is on the screen. In Engine UI, I didn't know how to use, and some of the inner workings of how the code system works. So in that sense, I learned a bit. I also learned how to make enemies follow you and go back to their original location. The first way I did myself, and the second way I was actually shown how to do it by another YouTuber on here. I believe the channel's called Level Up with Alex. I'll try and remember to link the live stream if he still has it up. The first 40 minutes or so has a lot of great information if you use GDevelop. I learned how to make my first state machine, which I can't say I remember everything, but I do have the file to reference in the future, as well as a live stream if he still has it up. I did also learn a little bit about making combat. Not good combat, but it was combat. As for art, I did get to practice animation. I do like my design for the Naranja characters. They were somewhat inspired by Road to El Dorado characters, only in cat form. Also, the animations of turning the character into a sword or a hammer, that was something else. That was interesting. And also the lock opening. When it came to animation, I did get some practice, so at least there's that. I also made my first top-down house, and I'd argue the best pixel art tree I've ever done. And I made a few songs in Chrome Music Lab and Audacity. They weren't great, but I like them. So there was some learning that happened. But here is why I say I failed. I didn't submit it. I know Thor says during his jams, that's okay, but I still feel like I failed. This is the most I've worked straight that I've ever put into a game. At least in recent years. I was a lot more consistent when I was younger. And it wasn't close to finished. Even if I cut everything left, it wouldn't be complete, it wouldn't be fun. It would feel bad. The main mechanics were good, not even for me, who should be good at the game. I struggle playing my own game, and if I struggle, everyone else is definitely gonna struggle. Because one of the main reasons why people tell you to beta test is because you're good at your game, you need other people. I couldn't play my game. It's just, you have to accept things sometimes. And I had about 12 or so hours left. I hadn't had much sleep. I wasn't eating. I wasn't taking care of myself, which is neurodivergent. I have a hard time with that already. And I was trying to think, what can I cut? What can I do? And my boyfriend said something that made me really think. Would I be proud of it? Does that matter to me? I have spent my life being forced to rush, and if I don't finish, I failed. But I did have a choice this time. No one was expecting me to finish but me. Thor doesn't know I exist. He wouldn't be personally hurt if I hadn't finished it. And if I'm going to present something, even though I know I wouldn't have a snowball's chance to win in a jam that big, I want to be proud of what I presented. And although I can say now I'm proud of how much I did get done in that time, I was not proud of the game. It wasn't finished or in a spot I could remove ideas and make it fun to play. It wasn't possible. So I chose not to submit it. And I felt both disappointed in myself, and still kind of do, but I also felt immediate relief. I decided I'm not submitting it, and then my brain, when it found out I was done, a huge weight was lifted. I had been stressed during jams. I had tried one in December before this one, but it was small, and I tried. I was like, eh. But this one was hell. It's a good jam if you're made for it, and I don't think I'm made for it. I probably won't join another one unless there's a theme so tempting I can't resist. I also don't think I'll make a game of combat, at least not character versus character. Maybe I'll try other forms in the future, but I do enjoy my cozy games, so I might never again. Who knows? So I think the main thing I learned in this jam is, what do I care most about when I participate? And I learned that I don't join jams to win, because I know my skill level, and it's not nearly as good as how many more skilled people that are there that join them. But I want to say I tried, and that wasn't the reason I lost, is that I didn't try. And I know I tried in this one. I did my best. My best wasn't enough. And I'm not fully okay with it yet, but at the same time, it is okay. I learned what kind of games I don't know how to make. Puzzle combat games are a no for me. If you want to see me working on it, there is a playlist of live streams. There's nothing to present, but that's okay. It will be good background noise if nothing else. I'm a few months late, but congratulations to the winner and everyone who actually submitted. You did great. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all later.